With the Game Awards ceremony returning on December 6th, what better time to look back on the sheer insanity and cringe that it's been known for throughout the years? Join us as we look back on 15 moments from the Game Awards history that were either really cool or just really, really embarrassing. Death Stranding trailer baffles everyone. TGA 2017. It's not like Kojima Productions' Death Stranding was anything new at the time. However, we had only seen brief glimpses of what Hideo Kojima's twisted mind was capable of delivering. At the Game Awards 2017, over 8 minutes of new footage was showcased, and it arguably trumped everything before it. Shadowy figures, supernatural happenings. It was weird, to say the least. Street Fighter V wins Best Fighting Game Offstage. TGA 2016. An odd practice that's been employed since 2014 and still seems to be the norm are awards being doled out off stage. It's not terrible in its own right, but seeing awards like Street Fighter V winning Best Fighting Game in 2016, just casually being announced and handed on the side, kind of devalues them. If nothing else, it's weird since something like, say, the Oscars doesn't do this. And speaking of which, Joseph Fares loses his mind. TGA 2017. Joseph Fares was busy developing a way out under the EA Originals branding in 2017. Given all the controversy that EA garnered with Star Wars Battlefront 2 in that same period, we didn't really expect Fares to say anything about it. Of course, at the Game Awards 2017, he blew away all expectations, admitting that sometimes companies like EA will screw up, and even going as far as flipping off the camera. Will Fares go on another tirade at this year's ceremony? Well, one can only hope.
Wait, one second,
Yes.
before we talk it right. So, we have something that is, we call it the friends, but it's my idea from the get-go, the first. I'm a passionate man. Nobody will ever, even if I do AAA, this is an independent game, but even if I do that, it will always be the game I want it to be.
All right.
We'll come to the point soon.
A way out, we gotta go, here we go, a way out, coming out.
Hydrobot. TGA 2016. Schick Razor Blades was an advertiser for the Game Awards 2016, so of course, someone thought it was a bright idea to not only create a mascot, which was a man in a costume with a razor for a head known as Hydrobot, but also have numerous skits involving said mascot. It was as terrible as you'd think. Destiny wins Best Online Experience. TGA 2014. Though Destiny 2 is in a far better place now after Forsaken and with numerous updates over the past year, it's hard to forget how miserable Destiny 1's launch was. Numerous errors, long loading times that would make current console players blush, absurd latency, terrible matchmaking, and that's not including the sheer backlash against the game for being at best misleading and at worst unfinished at launch. Behold, irony of ironies, it won the Best Online Experience at the Game Awards 2014. Star Wars Battlefront promotion, TGA 2015. One of the more innovative forms of promotion for EA's Star Wars Battlefront was seen at the Game Awards 2015. Basically, someone went around and asked attendees about the game, just straight up, for no reason other than to do it. This process went on for a fair bit. So what's so innovative about it? Well, nothing, we're just being facetious. Less of this, please.
So, have you got a chance to actually play Battlefront yet?
Oh, and Battlefront is a ton of fun. I mean, if you're a fan of first-person or third-person shooter games, this is definitely the game you want to play.
I like because you can choose which you want to play as.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, lightsaber battles and all the different multiplayer maps they have. I had a ton of fun playing this weekend.
Do you have a favorite hero?
I mean, I definitely love Darth Vader.
Cliffy B in PC Gaming, TGA 2015. If you watched Cliff Bleszinski's interview at the Game Awards 2015, it might not have seemed too bad in a vacuum. Bleszinski was working on Lawbreakers due for the PC and thus praised the platform. However, many will remember Bleszinski as being the same person that criticized PC players when asked about releasing Gears of War 2 for the platform. Back in 2008, Cliffy B told Kotaku that the same person savvy enough to have a good PC was also savvy enough to pirate software, and that high-end video games were suffering on PC. Of course, flash forward to 2015, and it's a mea culpa time, as Bleszinski admits to talking trash about the platform, saying,
"I was wrong, okay, let it go, people."
Jade Raymond and Metal Gear Solid, TGA 2015. Former Ubisoft producer and Motive Studio founder Jade Raymond dropped a line about not having a Metal Gear Solid without David Hayter, despite the fact that Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain with Kiefer Sutherland as Snake launched in the same year, but we'll ignore that.
Like, Who could imagine Metal Gear without the voice of David Hayter? Sorry, that was a bit mean.
Rock Band VR Reveal, TGA 2015. When you think of Rock Band VR being unveiled with the help of legendary band Dragon Force, well, how could you go wrong? By having the developers and Oculus VR founder Palmer Luckey in fake skits with the band members, learning how to be rock stars and generally indulging in some terrible humor. Oh, and then the developers stole Dragon Force's bus. If you think we're making a single second of this up, you'd be wrong. Hideo Kojima barred from attending, TGA 2015. The stories about the split between Metal Gear Solid creator Hideo Kojima and Konami prior to the launch of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain were well known to this point. And even if you didn't subscribe to all of the behind-the-scenes happenings, there's no denying that Konami had a bone to pick with Kojima. Why else would it bar him from attending the Game Awards 2015 and accepting the Industry Icon Award? Host Jeff Keighley pointed this out to the audience in attendance, who booed heartily. Fortunately, Kojima was able to attend next year and accepted the award.
But unfortunately, he was informed by a lawyer representing Konami just recently that he would not be allowed to travel to tonight's awards ceremony to accept any awards. He's still under an employment contract, and it's disappointing, and it's inconceivable to me that an artist like Hideo would not be allowed to come here and celebrate with his peers and his fellow teammates such an incredible game as Metal Gear Solid 5. But that's the situation we're in. Hideo is in Tokyo right now watching the show, so we want you to know, Hideo, that we're thinking of you.
Production issues, TGA 2014. When the ceremony was transitioning from its terrible VGA and VGX days, it faced a number of problems. During some performances at the Game Awards 2014, the sound would cut out for major portions. It wasn't even subtle. You could literally see performers singing, but no sound coming out. This happened numerous times throughout the night, but hey, at least things have improved massively since then. Nolan North's acceptance speech, TGA 2016. 2 years ago, the SAG-AFTRA started a strike against 11 different developers and publishers on behalf of better compensation for voice actors. Some fairly notable names took part, including Nolan North, known best for voicing Uncharted 4's Nathan Drake. So when North accepted the award for Best Performance during the Game Awards 2016, he proceeded to give an odd speech, somewhat throwing his cohorts under the bus in the process. The whole vagueness of the deal made it that much more uncomfortable.
I'm hearing a lot of talk lately about how performance matters. And it does. The performance of every designer, every programmer, every artist, every hardworking, talented person at that office, not only Naughty Dog, but all the developers that I've worked with, but Naughty Dog in particular because they've been with them for so long. That performance is so important. They are so talented, they are so hardworking, and their performance matters more than mine.
This is So Real VR Skit, TGA 2016. How do you get people interested in VR? By releasing compelling games? Or doing fake, overacted skits with a VR headset on exclaiming how it's so real? While it was meant to promote watching the awards on a VR headset, this particular skit only underscored how amateurish the Game Awards could come off. Deadmau5's performance, TGA 2015. If there's one thing we learned during any show dedicated to video games, it's that musical performances don't work. Deadmau5's performance at the Game Awards 2015 wasn't exactly bad, but it was still fairly awkward. Perhaps the worst part was the set apparently being cut short. You can even spot Deadmau5's expression as he seemingly sighs and rolls with it before leaving. Microtransaction required for unlocking, TGA 2017. At the time, we all probably laughed at the best action game winner requiring a microtransaction to unlock. It was the year of EA bad. Star Wars Battlefront 2, yada yada, you get the drift.
Oh man, I have to pay a microtransaction to unlock? That's so stupid that this has to, hold on, I got this, guys, here we go. You know it's true. It's really stupid.
And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.